Good morning, everyone. It's been a little while since I did a video. I've missed doing them, and I'm hoping you're having a good summer. So I wanted to do a card, and I got this new set. It's called Inked and Tiled, and it comes with 2 punches, and then it comes with this really beautiful stamp set. So I used this punch right here, and I want to show you just a few things that I did with this card. So I have a list of all of the products that I used, and if you would like a PDF, give me a couple of days and I'll make one of those up. But the card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. Lost Lagoon is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. A white piece of paper that we're going to do some art on is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper, which you know that I love. It's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then a scrap of Very Vanilla. And if you'd like to be added to my mailing list, I send out videos and what's going on with Stampin' Up. It's threecoffmans@gmail.com. And I'll try to put that in the link of the video. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that while you're over there. And then that way you'll be notified when I post a new video. So the colors are Petal Pink, Crushed Curry, Lost Lagoon, and a little bit of Pool Party. Pool Party makes everything better. And then I also use the Charming Sentiments. So let's put this over here, and I'll show you how I made this card. So put our envelope over there, because you know you always stamp the envelope. And this card base is just a little bit different. Usually I score it so it's 5 1/2, like this way. But I like this style too, so it flips up, and you could easily turn this into an easel card if you wanted to by scoring it 2 3/4 and just folding it back, which that would be pretty too. So we're going to put that over to the side. We're going to stamp this piece, the front piece, and I have 2 of those, so we don't need 2, we just need 1. So we're going to stamp this, and again, this is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And isn't this a pretty stamp? I love this. So we're going to stamp this in Crushed Curry. I'm going to use this one full strength. And what you want to do is you want to figure out how you want to angle your card. So I'm going to angle mine slightly this way, because it's leaning to the right. And then you want to stamp your flower straight. So you have that catty corner look, but sometimes it makes you crazy if your flower's not straight. So we'll just stamp this straight on here, and this is full strength, like that. Isn't that cute? I love that. So we're gonna put that to the side, and then we need some Lost Lagoon. I'm going to close this so I don't end up with my fingers in it. So this one I'm going to stamp off, and I always keep all the pieces of any kind of packing that comes from Stampin' Up, just because, you know, why not? You can use it, and then you can just stamp off. So you just ink it up, and I always tell the ladies, just tap, tap, tap. Don't go, you know, don't press it down so hard that you get a halo around your stamps. So all you want to do is you want to stamp off. Isn't that pretty? Then you want to come in, and you want to stamp right over top of that. I probably should have come down just a little bit more. I did on this one, but that's okay. It still looks good. And then you can stamp off again if you want to. And put this to the side, because we're going to use it again. And then we're going to bring in this pretty little flower, and we're going to ink it up full strength with Petal Pink. And then we're just going to go right in here. Isn't it pretty? I like it. Okay. So then we're going to need some of these little stars. I'm going to call them stars. And I'm going to do that with Petal Pink too. And you can just ink this up, and you just random stamping, and you can just do the generation stamping where you just ink it up and then just keep stamping until your ink runs out. So we're going to do that. And I believe that's all the stamping. And what would be fun, I think, is just to take a little bit of the Petal Pink and just maybe just do a little bit around the edges just to bring that in. I like it. Know what you think in the comments. Do you like it with ink or without? I think it kind of gives it that vintage look, which I really, really like. So, when we have our stamps out, let's go ahead and stamp the inside of our card base. And the reason I stamp now is if I get it crooked and I would have to turn it over, you could just flip it and then this would become the front and it would cover up your boo-boo. But hopefully that won't happen. Let's go ahead and stamp this. I'm going to take this out of the way for a minute. I'm going to need that in a second. But go ahead, and I use the Wishing You Everything Wonderful. Go ahead and stamp this right here. And then what I did, yeah, I don't like that. See, it kind of looks wiggly. So what we'll do is we'll just make this the front of the card, give it a burnish, and then we're going to ink this up again. I'm not sure why it had that funny look to it, but we're going to try it again. I want it to be solid. Just tap, 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 tap. Huh, isn't it? It's kind of strange. It looks funny. I'm going to clean that off, maybe. Just didn't look like it was solid, so let's dry it up a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. And if you want to, if it looks funny, just practice and see what it looks like. Maybe I didn't. Sometimes you need to leave it just a second. There we go. That looks much better. So let's ink it up. Sometimes you get a second chance at what you're doing. So just bring it straight down and kind of hold it for a couple of seconds, and sometimes that helps it absorb into the paper better. It still kind of looks like a stitched look. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. It's kind of cool if you look at it. I like stitching. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this one back in, and it still has some of the crushed curry on it. Just huff on it to activate the ink again and go right over top of your stamp. Isn't it cute? I like it. So, you know, if you wanted to, you could even put like one of the stars down in the bottom if you have a little bit left. I like that. Isn't that really cute, right? So then you see that this will be covered up by your Lost Lagoon piece. Put that to the side, put this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And when you use the Tombow mono adhesive, use the least amount that you can. So squeeze it just a tiny bit and then just drag your glue around so you only get, you know, you don't need a whole bunch of it to hold down a piece of cardstock. It's really good glue. And it gives you a minute to move your cardstock around. I like a little bit of the reveal on there. I always cut my, if I have a card base, cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut this piece just a sliver smaller so that you have a little bit of extra room around the edge. And I kind of like a little bit of the white reveal. So we're going to put this to the side. Well, let's go ahead and do our envelope. So the envelope I did with the crushed curry. I don't know if there's enough on there to give us the look that we want, but you can just ink it up, stamp off, and then stamp. You don't want it to compete with your address. And then we'll do just a note on the front. And we will turn it up the right way and stamp it. Isn't that pretty? I like it. Okay, so we'll put those two to the side. Envelope. Let me flip this back over so you can see it. I have the art piece right here. The original card. We're going to put that right there so you can still see it. And then we're going to do this piece right here. So, I'm sorry, my brain is just not with me today. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out that star. So just decide where you want it to be. And just come in. And unfortunately, it's going to take that star out, but I'll just come back in and put another one in, so I have 5 of those. So what you're going to do is just pop that out and keep that for another project. And we're going to do the art piece, which goes behind. So it'll go right there, like that. Whoops, I got the wrong piece. Sorry, there's the right piece. So this piece goes right there. Right. So let's stamp this. And if you can tell, you could just use a piece of designer series paper for that piece that's behind, but I want to save my designer series paper for something else that I can see more of it. And this, you don't see that much of it, so you can just play and have fun with it. So for this, I used Pool Party and Lost Lagoon, and then I use the flower stamp from that. So we're going to ink it up, and we're going to stamp, and we're going to do the generation stamping, where you just keep stamping until there's no more ink on a stamp, and then just come up, down, and just keep stamping. And then you can also, what I did is I come in with this, and you can just layer it, and then come back in with your Pool Party, and just go over top of it, and it just gives it, that, I think it just creates that vintage look. And don't forget to turn your stamp so that they're all not going the same way. And then what you want to do is you want to come back in with your blending brushes and blend everything in. You just want to blend so that you get that nice look like designer series paper has. It's a lighter, always a lighter shade than the cardstock. So just keep loading up your blending brush. Then you can come back in with some Pool Party. Load it up. And then it just gives you a little bit lighter effect. Isn't that pretty? I like it. And that way you can make your own designer series paper. Gives you a little bit of a different look. And also you can save your designer series paper for when you use it in, you know, a focal point. So that way you don't use it all up. So we're going to take this piece. We're going to add it to our card base. So we're going to put a catty corner. Oops, lay this down here. Oops. See, again, it gives you a second to move your card piece around. And then what you want to do is you want to bring this in and you want to decide where it's going to be. So I like it like that. So what you want to do is you want to take your punch and your scrap of Very Vanilla, punch out a star, and then stamp your sentiment, just a note. And you want to put that in there so that you get it straight. You know where you want it to be. And just stamp it. Oops. Darn. That's why it has two sides, right? I'm showing you all of my mistakes this morning, and that's okay. You know, you have two pieces of that paper. I didn't want to get my head in a shot, but I'm going to come a little bit closer. There you go. That's a ticket. So what you want to do, and you can always put a butterfly down there and cover that little BB up. So what you want to do is you want to put some glue on the back side of this. So you're never going to know that I made a mistake, right? So what you want to do is you want to line this up where you want it to be. Then put this in and press it down. And then lift this away like that. So leave that, and then you're going to bring in some dimensionals and some of these foam adhesive sheets. So what I did, these come in 4 9/16 by 4 3/8 sheet, and then I just cut them into strips because I'm going to use these on the back like that. One for that side and one for that side, and then I'm going to fill in with dimensionals. So what you want to do is you want to take that piece off, and then just line this up. We don't want it to stick too far out. I don't like to be able to see it when my card is put together. So just bring it over a little bit. Take the protective liner off that side. Down just a tiny bit. And then we'll just fill in with dimensionals. So just put some around that star so it doesn't get squashed down when you put it in your envelope. Maybe one more. Center there. Okay, that should do it. So then just take this. It's my pick tool. Get your pick tool out. That way you can save your fingernails. Should do the inside ones first. Just get those off. Just put those in the trash. Get everything. Oops, I missed that guy. Okay. Alright, so then what you want to do is you want to bring this back over, and you want to just fit that around the star. Try to do that first. Isn't it cool? I like it. So it just leaves you with that recessed piece in there. And if you don't like it like that, you can always just leave the dimensionals off, but I think it's so cute. So I want another one of those stars on there because I cut one out. So I'm going to stamp off and just bring one in right down there at the bottom. So there you have it. Isn't that cute? I love how this one turned out. So, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do that for me. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.